Well, Nevers Mumba's put a shocker on the nation that the nation was just hit by this the MMD, Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, held a convention, and at that convention some announcements were made that have stirred up some serious debate and uproar from the general public. So, as you may be aware, Nevers Mumba has been president of the MMD from the time that he won the court case. There was a battle that ensued between the current Minister of Technology and himself, Felix Mutati and Nevers Mumba. They fought for the MMD for a while. Who's going to be president? Who's legitimate? And for a while, I think the court case should have lasted like 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then when Nebas Mumba won that court case, the party was handed over to him, the MMD. But there is an argument to say he had served, according to the MMD's constitution, he had served his terms and he was supposed to resign or pretty much walk away from the MMD in 2022. But there is another argument that comes from the other side of the aisle that simply say, no, you cannot count the years that were in court fighting. So there is that. So now, when they held their convention just a couple of days ago, on the 5th and the 7th of November, as you can see on the back screen there, that banner that they have, the announcement was made. New changes were made to the MMD. They've changed their logo, they've changed their name. So people are wondering to say, hey, Nevers Mumba already had the party before he was appointed as vice president by Mwanawasa. So why didn't he just go back to his party and then pretty much utilize that as a platform if he wants to change anything? Because you cannot go and change a party like MMD that has a lasting legacy that it has. But anyway, so because of the backlash that he received from that, he put up this post just a couple of hours ago on his personal page. He says, "We did not abandon the movement for multi-party democracy, MMD. We evolved it." I do not know what he means by that. He says they've evolved it, they have not abandoned it. And then we've evolved it into a building site for national recovery. And other people are mocking him to say now he's wearing like a reflector just like his nephew. As you may be aware, Simon Moalen is the nephew to Dr. Nevers Mumba. The mother to Simon Moa is a sister, a biological sister to Nevers Mumba. So Simon is literally Nevers Mumba's nephew. So now people are saying, hey, he's being inspired by his nephew to start wearing a reflector just like him in the new party that they've evolved the MMD to. And then someone, Brand Banner, in the comment section said, just what happened to the NCC Ghost? I think that's what his party was called before Mananas appointed him as vice president. NCC Ghost does not want to stay alone. I mean, does not want to stay alone at the graveyard, she says. Because, yeah, so if you wanted to do that, you should have done that with a party that has never ruled before. You can't go and mess the MMD up. Obviously, Chief Daddy chipped in also. He says, at the movement for multi-party democracy is now what? He asks. I would say a lot on that, but that's why they say a foreigner is a foreigner, no matter how familiar he may be with everything. So simply saying Nevers Mumba is a foreigner, in this case in the MMD, no matter how much he asks to be familiar, he should have stayed in his political party. And then Chipetari doubles down on the comment. He says, the reflectors of Simon Moalen has now started inspiring political parties. So there you have it with that reaction. And obviously a number of people are reacting. So that's a new symbol. As you may be aware, the MMD used to use the hour scam symbol of a clock as a symbol. Now they've changed it to that fist on the chest he's having, and also that phoenix logo you see there. So a snapshot, according to Sun FM Zambia, they say Dr. Nevers Mumba of the new Nation Party displays the party symbol after rebranding Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD, changing its symbol from a clock to an eagle there. And those are the symbols. And then people are just reacting, but never so on. That's Brian Apunda simply reacting to say, how do you go and mess up a party with a legacy of having 3 presidents? Frederick Chiluba becoming the second president of the Republic of Zambia, who served 10 years. followed by Mwanawasa, a person that even inspires Haka in HM. He has acknowledged to say, like, if you is being likened to Mwanawasa, is very fine with that because of his fight against corruption. And there's an argument to say, amongst the presidents that we've had, Mwanawasa was very impactful on the nation in terms of pushing his agenda. Yes, he wasn't very articulate to be able to push his own narrative, but the reality on the ground, the work that he had done, is has outlived him pretty much. And then you have RB. So the legacy of the MMD is that, so you cannot come and pick a party that has such a legacy, and all it needs is just new blood. It just needs new people, young people to run it, and then you rebrand it to whatever the heck that is, a national new national movement or whatever that is, and that's not working. And then obviously people are saying even the logo is stolen there. So Emmanuel Mumba says philosophy he steals the party, referring to the MMD and the logo there. So Emmanuel Mumba says he stole the entire logo from Bedford Blues. Bedford Blues is a semi-professional rugby union club in the town of Bedford, England, currently playing in the Champions League rugby at the second tier of the English rugby union system. So he says that logo that Nevers was displayed as the New Nation Party logo is simply stolen from that Bedford rugby club. So there wasn't even a level of creativity. That's what happens where what people are trying to be creative in this sense. The mind is already done. What MMD needs is just new blood, new young people to pump blood into it, and new ideas. Otherwise, this recycling of ideas, no matter what name he tries to replant it, if you're not influential on the ground, it does not matter what ideology you try to push, what name you try to push, it still stands. You don't carry any clout on the ground. So, and that's the situation with Nevers Mumba. It simply has no influence really to influence people to the point where you would have significant impact in the general elections, but which has been proven time and time again. He always needs to collaborate with someone else for him to push his agenda. So I don't know how this rebranding of MMD into the new nation is going to affect his impact on the ground. Is simply messing up the MMD, and people are simply saying we're going to fight that battle. If he wants to run on that new nation agenda, let him go through. That's fine, but leave the MMD alone. And another section of society is arguing to say it's because he knows he's outrun the number of terms that he can run as a party president, and now he simply branded it so he starts afresh, and then he can run a number of terms under the New Nation Party. So then, if he wants to run under the New Nation Party, let him go ahead and leave the MMD. It's as simple as that. But anyway, it is what it is. That's what's going on in the MMD. So MMD is now New Nation Party. MMD claim it held an extraordinary convention, an event being held at Nasdaq Sports Complex. It is, among other things, the party has changed its name to the New Nation Party, and yeah, so that's what's been reported. While Chief Hatayari laughs at the Fred member to say another resignation from Dara by fashion model. Yet you think you can beat Hakainde Hichilema in an election. Politics they have an IO. Akalamba. So simply referring to Fred member saying, yes, you wear fashionable things that trend amongst Gen Z, but hey, people from your party are resigning from your leadership ahead of the general election. And then that's what's in times of Zambia. Hakainde Hichilema assures farmers, President assures accelerated agro export to boost revenue. And then that's in the real times. And Mass newspaper, it's a sham. Voter registration will not deliver results, that's according to a bishop there. And then UPND government lies. Kapwepwe insists that's Mulenga Kapwepwe, daughter from the late Vice President Simon Mwansa Kapwepwe. There, and that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on in the nation at the moment.